It's safe to say that post-apocalyptic fiction is one of the few genres that works equally well in novels, movies, and video games. Video games set in a post-apocalyptic world are exciting. And in today's video, I am going to show you the 10 best post-apocalyptic games that you should try in 2022. So without wasting any more time, let's start this video. Number 1, we have Horizon Forbidden West. Aloy is now faced with a new and difficult task. After a global pandemic has wiped off every living creature, players will need to go to the West Coast in search of the cause of the pandemic. Consequently, Aloy will encounter new mechanical animals and other hostile tribes who have conquered these robotic creatures and claimed the lands she must now travel across. Next up, we have Dying Light 2: Stay Human. The protagonist of the game is a guy looking for his missing sister. It's a tough slog to go about this crumbling metropolis, doing favors for various groups in exchange for key information. The game's Parker is its main draw, and it's designed like a massive playground. Parker is a key part of the gameplay, allowing players to traverse the city, scale buildings, leap over obstacles, and even engage in battle using these abilities. Next up, we have The Last of Us series. Few games have done a better job than The Last of Us at depicting decaying urban environments set years after a strange new species of the cordyceps fungus began turning humans into zombies. The narrative is one of the game's strengths, delivering an emotional and unforgettable experience with a cast of really well-written characters, even if the visuals and art design aren't very impressive. Next up, we have Deadcraft. The narrative starts after Earth is devastated by a meteor shower, and a strange virus that brings the dead back to life is unleashed to terrorize the living. A tiny percentage of humanity has survived the onslaught of aerial attacks and the plague of the dead, and they are now huddled together in isolated settlements where power-hungry opportunists prey on the weak. Next up, we have Mad Max. Mad Max came out in 2015, although it has nothing to do with the smash movie Mad Max Fury Road, which had its theatrical debut only 4 months before. Movie tie-in games have a bad image nowadays due to multiple releases in the 2000s that seemed like cash grabs, but fans and reviewers alike praised the film. So many players were relieved the game wasn't a direct tie-in. Next up, we have Far Cry New Dawn. Separate from Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn is an entirely new game. After the nuclear accident, the players find themselves in Hope County, which has witnessed a super bloom. Due to the devastation and subsequent takeover of the country by nature, the players are now faced with a new enemy. Next up, we have Days Gone. Days Gone, which is set in rural Oregon, is an open-world action game with some mild survival and RPG components and features exploration, enemy camps, uninspiring side missions, a crafting system, and primitive stealth aspects. Days Gone's idea may appear unoriginal at first, but the game does a good job at implementing it. Next up, we have Metro Exodus. The world of Metro Exodus is one that has been devastated by nuclear war. Just as in the Fallout series, this nuclear radiation has mutated a variety of species, making the planet a very hazardous place. In this sequel to Metro Last Light, players assume the character of Artyom. Artyom plans to spend a whole year on the road in his quest to begin a new life in the Far East. Next up, we have Wasteland 2 and 3. Wasteland 2 is a top-down RPG in which the player commands a team of up to 7 characters in turn-based battles. After the critical success of its predecessor, Wasteland 2, the pressure was on for the August 2020 release of Wasteland 3, and it didn't disappoint. Number 10, we have Death Stranding Director's Cut. Death Stranding is polarizing, but it will give the most authentic post-apocalyptic gaming experience we've had in a long time. He portrays Sam, a deliverman tasked with restoring the United States of America one package at a time. Using and leaving behind valuable objects from other players is a powerful reminder that we are still in this together, and it brings Death Stranding to vivid life. So that's the list of 10 best post-apocalyptic games for PC and consoles. Your support is much appreciated if you like the video and want to see more from Games Puff.